What is up, Top Shot Nation? How are we doing today? Happy Thursday. Gonna start off with the mea culpa. I broke my green screen. I had it for a week. I broke it. We're going without a green screen for today. We have a new one coming in the mail. Excited for that. But more importantly, excited because we are retiring all of Series 2 moments. And what that means is that tomorrow, the CC becomes LE across the board. Any base set moment that is currently CC will soon become LE. Very, very excited to have my partner in crime, one of my favorite people in the world, Austin Kent, our editorial lead, joining the stream. Austin, how's it going, man?
Hey, Jacob. It's going real good. It's been a long road in Series 2. Excited to see it come to an end with a nice tribute to some of the best moments from the season.
Yeah, so Series 2 has been as wild a series as I think it'll ever be. Obviously, the 2020-21 season, one of the more memorable seasons from NBA history. And needless to say, working at Top Shot and seeing moments as they unfold before our very eyes changed the way we look at the game. So we thought it would be fun to go back into the archives, rewind the clock to the start of the year, and walk us from month to month around the greatest moments from the season. Again, very, very excited to close out Series 2 with a bang. A lot of great stuff ahead for the summer. But yeah, I think without further ado, I would love to get your take on the last time we were on a stream together, Austin. You predicted correctly that the Bucks would win the championship. And this was not in the conference finals. This was at the very, very start of the playoffs. Yes. Are you doing victory laps? You were right. I picked the Nets like everyone else. I was wrong. Congratulations on the pick. What did you see from the outset that gave you confidence that this year was going to be different for the Bucks?
You know, I mean, the biggest thing that sort of stood out to me is that my brain couldn't comprehend another year going by without those sort of adjustments from Coach Bud. I just figured, like, what were the odds of them not improving upon last year? And of course, the acquisition of Jrue Holiday, to me, was just such this great addition of the veteran leadership and the defense, and to see it sort of play out exactly as the most optimistic, Bucks supporters could have hoped for, with some crazy veteran plays, some crazy defensive plays in the finals that, just instrumental to the series. It just was kind of see that to all come to fruition. So I was kind of just banking on the fact that they couldn't possibly stay stagnant, and I was happy to see it come true. I would have been so happy for Chris Paul and the Suns had they finished the deal there. But come the conference finals, I knew my prediction was on the line, so I had to roll with the Bucks, and I was happy to see them to live up to it.
Well, I gotta hand it to you, man. It was a daring pick at the time, and you came out vindicated. So congrats on that.
Appreciate that.
But enough about the end of the season. I think without further ado, it's time to run it back to season opening night. Again, we have the 50 defining moments of the 2020-21 season. And no better place to start than with Kevin Durant, first bucket with the Brooklyn Nets on opening night. Studio, let's play the clip. Now, this moment's special for two reasons. It's not Durant's Top Shot debut because he made it into Run It Back in Series 1, but it is the first moment from Durant as a champion, right? He was not a champion in 2014. He's won multiple championships, and this is the first moment we're seeing with rings in pocket, and this is against his former team, the Warriors. Walk us through this moment a little bit.
I mean, I love this moment being 16, 18 months in the making. Obviously, he signed with the Nets, I guess in the summer of 2019. And to see him come back from his injury and just look so good out of the gates. I don't think anybody's ever looked as good as Durant has coming off of the injury that he had. So I just love to be able to see that year of anticipation for KD's Nets debut, and just to see it hit the ground running. I think he dropped, I was looking this up just earlier, 22 points in a quick 25 minutes of action, and just to prove that he's right back to the KD he's always been. So I was super psyched to see that moment when it hit.
Awesome. Well, the very, very next night, we got this game winner from Jason Tatum as our next moment. So this was December 23rd, the first moment from the season tip-off set. And, this didn't prove to be a foreshadow of the season because Giannis ended up with the crown. But going into the year, it looked like Jason Tatum was about to ascend to super duper stardom. I think he's still a superstar, but a game winner in the season opener like this, pretty epic way to start off the year for the Celtics here.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Jason Tatum. He just seems every year to climb like one extra rung on that ladder to superstardom. Started off with a bang and carried it on through the whole season. Dropped a 50-burger in the playoffs. So I think that, there's only room to grow from here. So the fact that he started the season that good is awesome. I think he's a bona fide superstar. That's only going to get better.
So that same night, we got the first career bucket from Tyrese Halliburton. Avid Top Shot collector, one of the best rookies from the class. This is his first career basket, and it happened the same night as Tatum's. But December 23rd will live in kind of basketball immortality. A lot of stars made their debut that night, and we got Halliburton's first career bucket on Top Shot. What did you see from Halliburton as a rookie?
Tyrese was one of the rookies that, as basically the day after draft day, the night of draft night, people kind of knew he was a steal. He was a sleeper based on where he got picked. And to see him just come out of the gate so strong with Sacramento and then put forth such a great season and basically live up to that, I always love to see. I'm excited for a lot more Halliburton moments.
Absolutely. Moving ahead here, just a few nights later, this was December 26th, the day after Christmas. This is James Harden's last career moment as a Houston Rocket. Obviously, some turbulence to start the year with Houston. But he's going to go down as a Hall of Famer. And if you were to ask me which team will he be most remembered for, obviously the rest is still unwritten with Brooklyn. But I think he's a Rocket. I think he'll go down as a Rocket. And this moment just showed, even though the critics said he was dogging it, he did not care to be in Houston. The guy just has such an uncanny knack to score. So let's play this one more time. Austin, tell me what James Harden's Rockets tenure kind of means to you as an NBA fan.
Oh, I love what James Harden was capable of doing in a Rockets system that was absolutely not afraid to just push the envelope in every possible conceivable way. Basically kind of redefining what it means to be an offensive superstar. It's the most, they just optimized every aspect of the step backs, the angles, the efficiency of a 3-pointer versus a 2-pointer. I think a lot of this can be attributed to just the ambitions of like Daryl Morey's front office and Mike D'Antoni coaching, but there are very few human beings alive who could step into the role that James Harden did in Houston and just raise the bar as far as they did. And I think it gets just a ton of credit for really elevating the offensive output of NBA superstars to this day. So to be able to get, to see that last Rockets moment, immortalized in an MGLE moment is really kind of special. I've got a ton of respect for what Harden's been able to do, even if sometimes it's unpalatable to watch. He's just taken the game and pushed it as far as you possibly could within the rules of the game, and that's impressive.
Absolutely. And you mentioned offensive superstars. Well, here's an offensive superstar of tomorrow. Same night as Harden's last career Houston Rockets moment on Top Shot. This is LaMelo Ball scoring his first career bucket. Now, the inside baseball behind LaMelo Ball on Top Shot is in his rookie debut game, he did not score. kind of unfathomable. The rookie of the year in his debut game did not score. I checked the archives. The last prominent rookie to not score in their first debut game was Tim Hardaway Jr. So quite a long stretch. We didn't get LaMelo with a bucket in his first career game, but this is his first career bucket, and it came on December 26th. We're going to have a lot more LaMelos throughout this show, so we're not gonna dive too far into this, but very excited that his first career bucket was a little, in true LaMelo style, a little sizzle, right? A little flash. Let's watch it one more time. Switching hands in the air with the finish. Yeah, Mike Muscala didn't stand a chance there.
Just goes to show that LaMelo is one of the select few players that can really be one of the most memorable players in a game without putting, the ball in the net, which he did in his first game. So it's nice to see the first bucket go in, though,
Absolutely. Moving ahead here, we've got Nikola Yokic with career high 18 assists. This was December 28th. We're still only in December. This is the first week of the season, and Jokic puts up 18 assists as a center. The MVP, obviously. Austin, one of my favorites. I know he's one of yours as well. What did Nikola Jokic winning the MVP do for the international game this year?
I mean, just to show that you can dominate the game of basketball without, the customary, skill set. To be able to see Jokic come in, play the game his way, he's done it since day one as a backup to Nurkic. Has just been so fun to see, and hopefully it encourages more players to, really find what they're good at and stick to it. Jokic's vision is unparalleled. I think it's the most assists for a center since Wilt Chamberlain, 50 years prior. So we're truly seeing, something mostly unprecedented in Jokic every night. It reminds me of, what was it, the Summer League last? No, it would have been preseason when the Nuggets trotted out Jokic as their starting point guard. Makes a whole lot of sense. I love seeing Jokic.
Point Jokic, sign me up. Skipping ahead here a couple of weeks, we're now at January 12th, and of course, this moment. Hold on, we'll get studio back up here. We've got a LeBron James no-look three-pointer. This, I know the chat is going to go crazy for. One of the very best LeBron moments from history. And, LeBron not historically known as a shooter, so getting this one super, super special.
I love it. I think this is just iconic in terms of the Top Shot history. This was the play that was, the talk of the town when a lot of users were getting their first introductions to Top Shot, what Top Shot was. And I think this is such a great example of what Top Shot is. I love to see, confident LeBron. Truly one of the most memorable moments, I think, for me.
Absolutely. And not to be outdone, but LeBron certainly, for the past 5 years, there's been a rivalry with this guy and Steph Curry in the All-Star game, making sure the no-look three. LeBron's not the only sheriff in town that could do that.
I love it.
The swagger of Steph.
Love the little celly with LeBron there. Look what I did.
Absolutely. Now, fast forward just a few days from LeBron's no-looker, and a guy we were just talking about. This is James Harden's first bucket with the Brooklyn Nets. Worked his way out of Houston, ended up with his friends in Brooklyn, and the Euro step, the homage to the '90s Drazen Petrovic, New Jersey Nets. Austin, walk me through kind of what your thought process was when you found out James Harden got traded to Brooklyn.
I mean, I couldn't believe it that they were able to make it work. I couldn't believe that there was going to be a team with all three of those players, you know, all in the same season. Obviously, immediately considered like definite title favorites, and were and probably would be still there, you know, if they stayed healthy. But it was a weird year for Harden, and a weird year for the Nets, you know, with the issues about maybe his conditioning heading into training camp with the Rockets. So to see him suit up as the member of the Nets was kind of surreal. It was one of those. I think any NBA fan that grows up passionate about their own teams, when they see super teams sort of pop up, you know, in cities other than their own city, it's always kind of like, okay, so you're the villain now. So I think there was a lot of that to Harden joining the Nets. But you know, it is fun to see them get to go to work like that. And hopefully next year they can stick together and play a bit more together with, you know, full health.
Absolutely. So there we have it. Those are all of the moments we have. And we're going to take a quick second break before we get into our next moment. But all the moments that took place January 16th, that was a very crazy day for Top Shot. The 16th, the 17th, that's when we started to first see the virality pick up. A lot of people started talking about Top Shot. A lot of people came to Top Shot. There was an iconic piece from Jonathan Bales talking about his acquisition of a Ja Morant. I think that was written on the 17th. So all of the moments we just watched, those I would say happened in the scheme of the NBA world before Top Shot became a big name in fandom. But we're now getting into the next wave. And this moment from Mike Conley, of course, 14 seasons in the league, first time as an all-star. And this moment was extra special because we got Mike to narrate it. And it came together so last minute, really crazy week. I'll take you all under the curtain for a second here. We get in contact with Mike Conley and his team. They say they're interested in doing something special that hasn't been done before on Top Shot. We figure out, should we do this? Should we do that? We settle on a narrated moment, right? And that same week, we were supposed to get the narration from Mike Conley on Tuesday night. I was supposed to hop on a call with him to get him to narrate. I believe it was Tuesday. It may have been the Wednesday of that week. The Utah Jazz had an emergency landing because their plane swallowed up some birds. And that was crazy. So Mike Conley couldn't join the chat. We ended up sending him some questions for him to record in his hotel room. Those are the interview questions that ended up in this moment that he narrated. Just a really crazy situation all around, and super excited to make history with Mike in his first All-Star campaign. Of course, the Seeing Stars set, Austin, you know, as the guy that's editorializing these sets, these are to commemorate guys that are making the All-Star team. And Mike, for years, was just one player out from being that Western Conference guard. So for him to make it, and in the way that he got in this year, just a truly special moment to celebrate with his fans for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. And it was nice, you know, so many basketball fans have so many fond memories of Grizzlies era Mike Conley. And it's still bizarre to think that in none of those years did he end up, you know, getting quite over that hill. So the fact that he was able to do it on such a competitive Jazz team, and he's playing such a big part of it, you know, after kind of a shaky debut in his first year, getting used to the system in Utah. I was excited to see the narration. I think you captured it perfectly. This was sort of such an interesting time in the Top Shot community where players were interested, and they were either collectors themselves or they were hearing about it every day, you know, in the locker room. And so to have, you know, to be able to celebrate Conley's first All-Star game in this fashion is just really special. And the move is pretty slick too.
Absolutely. Moving along here, we've got You guessed it. Another James Harden. I think the story of the 2020-21 season couldn't be told without James Harden coming to Brooklyn. And we chose this moment because this just it touches on just how much fun they were having when they were operating at full force. Three of the best offensive talents in history. Austin, when you see this moment, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to pat myself on the back for my Bucks prediction, but if Harden and Kyrie and KD were all healthy, it could have been a completely different story. I think what we really have to look forward to as basketball fans is, I mean, well, obviously we'll hope for health, but even just familiarity playing with each other, coming into their second year as a unit, I think the ceiling will just be so much higher. So to be able to kind of get that brief taste, we'd see Harden and Kyrie together, or we'd see Harden and KD together. Obviously, we saw KD and Kyrie together without Harden. It was really kind of special, and I think as we sort of head forward, we're just going to see a lot more of these moments where you're seeing three truly amazing superstar players just riffing and having fun and dominating basketball games together.
Talking about riffing, having fun, and dominating basketball games, this next player, this is a moment that I know is very near and dear to your heart. Walk me through this Trae Young.
I love seeing Trae Young's confidence. I love, such a poetic tribute to another very confident classic NBA player in Kobe Bryant. Watch him flash the 2-4 on the screen. That's one of the moments that I've got kind of an emotional attachment to, just on our platform, just for that reason. Few players could pull that off with the swagger that Trae has, and this is swagger that we'll see a lot more of as we go along this list. In the playoffs, he sort of took it to the next level, but just to get the logo point and the 2-4 flashed on the screen, I love it.
That's right. And just a reminder, chat, we are retiring all Series 2 base set moments tomorrow. So that CC, can't tell. I don't think this. I think this Trae Young was already retired, but any CC moment that is a base set moment will be retired into a limited edition moment tomorrow. Very exciting times, and Trae Young really showing out. Well, the very next night, Trae Young hits that on January 26th. The very next night, this was one of the marquee games of the regular season. I remember being glued to my couch watching this. Tobias Harris coming through in the clutch over the Lakers. At the time, this seemed like it was a preview of the NBA Finals. Very intense game. And Tobias coming through in the clutch was, it gave me confidence at the time that, maybe Philly does have their end of game closure. Walk me through your memories of this game and this moment.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. There was such a time where Philly was such a very serious title contender. I think a lot of that, you know what you're going to get in Embiid. You thought you knew sort of what you're going to get in Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris, for many people, is, sort of this X factor. And when Tobias Harris is looking good, he's looking great. And I think this is such a great example of what he's capable of when he's playing at the top of his game, and just how much farther he raises Philly's ceiling. I love this moment. I find this is such a great example of a thumbnail, or like a picture that we're really going to remember about Series 2 and Series 1, of course, in the bubble, where you just get such historically wacky and bizarre backgrounds that when you look through the history of the NBA, to see just no fans in the background, just completely covered seats, is just truly, weird to see. So I love when we can sort of really shine a light on that aspect of it in thumbnails, which we've tried to do when the opportunities arise. And this is one of the picks that really stands out to me as a great example of doing that.
Absolutely. Just a couple nights later in the calendar, we're now at January 29th. And you can't tell the story of Series 2 without telling the story of Cool Cats. And LaMelo Ball coming up from the top over Domantas Sabonis, making that statement as a rookie of, I'm not just a passer, I'm not a creator, I'm an everything, do it all myself type player. LaMelo Ball, and obviously the master challenge, the circumstances of how long that took, very crazy. But really just an awesome moment here. And we skipped on talking about LaMelo extensively in the first moment, but how would you compare his rookie year to the rookie years of recent rookie of the years before him?
I think the first thing that stands out for LaMelo is just the swagger that he plays with. And I love this play. I loved it since the moment I saw it. A long time coming as the Cool Cat Master Challenge reward. But, there's of the myriad of, great LaMelo Ball plays. This to me is just such a great example of the swagger that he plays with. Like this guy, 19 years old, this is early on in the season, it's not even halfway through the season. And he's already got this much swagger to dunk on an all-star, tap on his head, stare him down. It's just everything that I love as an NBA fan about LaMelo's approach to the game and his confidence as he approaches the game, all rolled into one moment. Obviously you don't think of putback dunks when you think of LaMelo, which to me makes it even more special. This guy will just routinely impress us with incredibly amazing aesthetic plays, and to do it in such a brash manner, to me is just the icing on the cake.
Absolutely. He is brash, takes after his dad in that regard. Yeah. Safe to say. All right, moving along here. Just 2 nights after LaMelo Ball did that, we have another Cool Cats moment, and this game was crazy. I was watching this out of the corner of my eye. Obviously, you have Russell Westbrook versus Kevin Durant, Wizards versus Nets, and Russell Westbrook was on one in that last minute, and here he is hitting the game winner in a game where both teams, it seemed for the last few minutes of the game, were both just trading 3 bombs. And this is just such a consummate Russell Westbrook moment when you think about his short stint with the Wizards. It will be remembered fondly by Wizards fans for sure for kind of the turnaround to their season. And this moment, this game, was kind of a linchpin in deciding whether they were going to lay down and die as kind of a bottom feeder in the East or whether they were a serious kind of playoff team. They proved themselves to be a serious playoff team. And not to say too much here, but Russell Westbrook hitting threes, not the first thing you think of, but clutch threes like this. I mean, it's the competitive spirit of Russell Westbrook that sees the ball through the hoop like this. Do you remember this, like watching this game, hearing about this game, and kind of your thoughts through it?
Yeah, definitely. Shout out Bradley Beal, who hit the 3 on the preceding play. And shout out Garrison Matthews for the inbound play steal. And this was potentially, for a brief moment in time, this was a potential Garrison Matthews debut for the steal and the dime. Such a great play. But Westbrook sealed the deal, and I think it's such a great way to summarize, like you mentioned, what he brought to the Wizards, just the energy he plays with. I think you're spot on. The energy that a vet like Westbrook brought to the table was probably instrumental in what path the Wizards would go down from that point in the season. What a joy! This one season in Washington will be remembered as a couple of iconic moments, which we'll get to. But this was a truly fascinating game, and it makes me wish we could have even longer moments with multiple players involved, because this was a total team effort. That whole execution down the stretch was truly awesome.
Now, you can't tell the story of the 2020-21 season without including this guy. Steph Curry was on one throughout the entire year, and this moment from February 6th, this is just like, I have dreams, I have fantasies of being able to just dribble up to the logo and pull up and hit a swish this pure, this clean, and the dance. He had 57 points in this game. I don't think any player in NBA history has had 57 points in a game and danced like this in the same game. The guy has it all. talk to me about kind of where you see Steph Curry now heading into next season. The Warriors are a little revamped, obviously. Klay Thompson coming back, 2 lottery picks on the roster now. A lot of talk about the Lakers being the favorites in the West. I think the Warriors have a shot, man. I have to say, like, I think people are sleeping on how good they're going to be.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, what's that Rudy Tomjanovic quote? Never underestimate the heart of a champion. Like a Steph-led Warriors team with a healthy Klay, Draymond, and a couple of productive young players. It's just a recipe for like a 6 or a 7 seed going deep in the playoffs. I think this is such a great moment because it really kind of enforces the message that, after a truly bizarre down outlier year in 2019-20, Steph was back this year. He was back in MVP form this year. And I think obviously he's a global icon, but I think he's truly underrated in terms of just how good he is and how much he's changed the game of basketball. He makes it look so easy to pull up from there. And just to have such fun celebrating that is fun to see. But yeah, certainly for next season, out of the gates, one of the scariest teams. Who knows, how the chips will fall, but I think you underestimate this team at your own risk for sure.
We're now moving along to the gift. Many of you, it feels like yesterday to me, but I know a lot of collectors came after the gift. This moment, Derrick Rose's first game back with the Knicks. I don't think you could tell the story of the Knicks' playoff success this year without the pickup of Derrick Rose. But another inside baseball, Austin, can you maybe share? I might be wrong here, but from my understanding, this was the fastest a moment happened on the court to being minted as a moment on Top Shot. The game happened on, I believe it was like February 9th, and by February 14th, it was a challenge reward on Top Shot. Can you confirm or deny that?
I believe that you're right. I can't confirm it with the numbers in front of me right now, but I think we knew that we wanted Derrick Rose to be involved in this set, and of course that was right around the time of the trade, which sort of checks out with what you're saying. We obviously couldn't get the Detroit Pistons Derrick Rose. We don't typically have moments from players when they're no longer on that team. So we're just sitting there waiting for a great Derrick Rose play, and of course it didn't take long for that to happen. And it's just so nice to see Derrick Rose be able to really kind of take his career back into his own hands. Obviously, one of the players most impacted by one of the truly iconic NBA players most impacted by injuries over the course of his career, but to be able to have this chapter as not just such a solid veteran force, but really a truly great player, to be able to get that and to have this Knicks team be, solid to decent. I'll give you at least that much, and with the potential for so much more. I think he plays such a big part of that. So I was, as a Pistons fan, I just appreciated what he was able to do in Detroit, but I was happy to see him go somewhere where he could play slightly more competitive basketball. I always thought it would be the Lakers, but I was happy to find out it was the Knicks.
Yeah, for years it was the Lakers, the Clippers. They're both really into D-Rose. Kawhi wants D-Rose. I saw all the rumors. I was happy that Tom Thibodeau got that reunion. Moving along here, chat, spoiler alert, this is my early contender for the moment of the year. Just for the play, the dunk, it being his rookie year, Anthony Edwards coming into the NBA, taking it by force. And talk about force. Look at that dunk, Austin. Tell me about this moment when you first saw it, or what were you thinking?
Yeah, leading up to that moment, there were already at least 2 great Anthony Edwards dunks. I remember thinking this guy's incredible. Thinking these dunks that he did prior to this would truly live on as these amazing, memorable plays. Can't even think of what those dunks were. One of them was a great yam on Portland. But when he did this on Utah, obviously the world stopped. The NBA Twitter exploded. And Anthony Edwards just showed that he was truly capable of so much more. I think he kind of got slept on as a number one pick, if you can say that. I think that's true, with so much attention going to Lamela Ball, and even Tyrese Halliburton as Rookie of the Year candidate. James Wiseman came out strong. But Anthony Edwards figured it out, and he just started to show, he was going to drop an incredible highlight every night, including, I think I agree with you, the moment of the year. And just in addition to this, I don't think he did particularly well on an individual level in this game, if I recall correctly, but he started to contribute across the board over the course of the season. So I loved seeing this play, and I just such a fun personality to listen to him talk, to listen to see how he approaches the game. I think the Timberwolves are real lucky to have that, and collectors are lucky to have that moment if they got that challenge reward.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold my horses. I think it's the dunk of the year. I don't know if it's the moment of the year. Just knowing how much great stuff we still have coming from the playoffs, I think chat can already kind of internalize which moments might be there. That is the that is the top shot this of the year, I would say.
Yeah.
But let's move along here to Joel Embiid. You can't tell the story of the 2020-21 season without giving Joel Embiid some love. For the first half of the year, he looked like the MVP. And this is what makes the guy so special. 7-2, 7-3, step backs like he's James Harden. This moment, 50 points, 17 rebounds, 5 assists. I don't think I've seen such a dominant performance by a center since maybe Shaq. Austin, talk to me about Joel Embiid, what you saw from him this season, and just what you think the Sixers should do next year to steer the ship back toward contention.
Yeah, I think one of the great things about Embiid is he can be one of the most just dominant physical big men in the game, but he also just has so many layers to his game, and he's constantly adding different skilled layers to his game that make him just such a fun player for this era, the sort of stretch big era. I think that what should Philly do to kind of steer the ship from here? Yeah, without being in the locker room, I find it tough to know exactly how they should approach, who complements Joel Embiid, if it's Ben Simmons or if it's somebody else. But I think being able to truly zero in on Joel as the player to build around, and let's get Joel whatever he needs, is the approach to take. What about you?
Yeah, I'm very curious. Obviously, the Ben Simmons story I heard yesterday, the Warriors are going to try to make an aggressive run. I'll give you a name. I'm as chat knows, I am not an insider. I'm just a fan. But I have heard some rumblings that the Pacers are interested. And I think that could be an interesting fit because the Pacers have a lot of ready-to-win-now pieces between Malcolm Brogdon, between TJ Warren. Obviously, Domantas Sabonis was an all-star. Miles Turner's been a very good 3-and-D player. I could see some synergies there. Chris Duarte, 24-year-old draft pick. The Pacers have guys that could help the Sixers level up if there is a synergy there. I also think that the Warriors are still going to try to figure out if there's an opportunity to get Simmons to Golden State. Yeah,
I heard about the Godfather offer potentially from Golden State. It seemed like a lot. What was that with the multiple lottery picks, and was Wiseman included in that? Andrew Wiggins' contract included in that? Seemed like a lot. This is the fun. This is F5 season. This is silly season. We get to go nuts with all these theories. Indiana, I love that. That'd be a nice fit. Like you said, Brogdon is such a good vet. And Indiana coaching change this offseason. Maybe they're happy to kind of give up some of those vets in order to sort of plug in what's Simmons 24, plug in the 24-year-old all-star and get him, and start building around him in their system. I'd be very intrigued by that if I was Philly, just because anything you can get those weapons around Embiid and really see where Embiid can take you.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to watch. Moving ahead here, The defensive player of the year, shout out Rudy Gobert. This is hustle and show, the hustle and show moment of the year, I would say, from a guy that hustles and shows out on a given night, any given night. When you watch Rudy Gobert play defense, or at least when I watch Rudy Gobert play defense, there's just something a little different. He's got the perfect timing, the length. You can see it. People don't want to challenge him. Talk me through kind of Rudy Gobert's season. Obviously, the Jazz with the best record in the NBA this year, and Gobert played a big role in that. When you watch plays like this, is there anyone from history that he reminds you of?
Oh, gosh. Through history. I mean, he's truly, in my mind, he stands sort of apart as just this defensive first force, like who you never, any offense that he can provide is just an absolute bonus. The fact that he's able to impact the games as much as he does with like a modest offensive impact is just so special. We see the when players do try to test him, because he's had so many moments of just incredible blocks. I love the recovery off the first block and the follow through to the second. But how many plays, like what isn't taken into account is how many game plans are adjusted for players to not even try him, and now to have to settle for a shot that they didn't want to take, but they're not going to take the shot they did want to take because they know Gobert's going to be waiting for them. I think he's just such a truly impactful player in that regard. But in terms of comps through history, that's a tough one. Do you have any that come to mind?
Another Jazz guy, Mark Eden. That's the only way back. That's the only guy that obviously you can say Olajuwon, but I think they're pretty different on the offensive end. Mm-hmm. Mark Eden, Rick Smits a little bit, just like a guy that you do not want to challenge at the rim. And needless to say, came up big this morning against Slovenia, France going to the finals in the Olympics to take on Team USA. That one will be a competitive matchup, and Rudy, Nick Batum, Nando De Colo, they've got some talent in France. So I'm excited, and needless to say, rocking the Knicks hat, Evan Fournier. So that'll be an interesting game. Let's move along here to the All-Star game, right? We're now in March. This came in the All-Star game, Damian Lillard, the game winner, unlimited range. And after the game, a reporter actually asked him, did he want to see that on Top Shot? And he said, it would be pretty cool if that was on Top Shot. Austin, you remember watching the game, of course. That weekend, that whole week, pretty crazy. You wrote a press release, essentially, on behalf of the NBA announcing the Rising Stars. Talk to me about All-Star Weekend for you and what that meant.
Yeah, that was just such a memorable time. I think it was a memorable time basically for so many people in our community, because that was such a pivotal, 2-week span in terms of the growth of the platform. And a lot of that led straight into All-Star Weekend, which is the first time, at least in my tenure, where we're really sort of working on behalf and really tight-knit with the NBA on the announcement for the Rising Stars, obviously. That was, to get that task, was just, I was so fortunate and happy to be able to do that. But that entire weekend was just great, and be able to sit through and watch an All-Star game. It was, this is our first All-Star game with the Top Shot platform. And you just know everybody is gunning to make a moment. Top Shot or no Top Shot, everybody's gunning to make the play of the game, basically every possession. And it yielded a lot of truly great moments, including obviously the game winner. He was just so hot towards the end of the game. Like, we could have had so many different day moments towards the end of this game, but I love that it's just so poetic that he buried the winner in that fashion. Another great thumbnail. I love that one.
Moving along here, we're going to try to pick up the pace a little bit because we still got a ton of moments to get through. Zach LaVine from the All-Star game as well. His first time as an All-Star. Obviously a big part of Team USA right now. Talk to me a little bit about Zach LaVine and kind of the step he took, the leap he took, so to speak, this season.
Yeah, I think so many people, and maybe I'm projecting a bit, certainly myself, kind of thought we sort of knew what Levine was capable of, and sort of kind of put him in that box and kind of moved on. But I think this year he really took a lot of people and said, no, hold on, my game is deeper than you give me credit for. It was nice to see that come, and get honored with an All-Star berth. And now the Bulls are back, in the words of our dear friend Trey Kirby. Truly one of the fun teams to sort of think about this season, to see that, hey, we're going to arm Zach LaVine with a great supporting cast. Let's see what they're capable of.
Moving along here, we've got a very special moment. This is Caris LeVert coming back from cancer, showing out for the Indiana Pacers. And we've actually got a clip. Studio, if we can play the clip. We talked to Caris LeVert not too long ago about kind of the arduous journey back and what this season meant for him. So studio, can we pull that clip?
Just want to check in with you, Caris. How's everything? First of all, how do you reflect on this season? Like, we're about to watch Game 5, Nets Bucks. You actually started this season on the Nets. Like, that feels like a lifetime ago.
I mean, it was probably one of my toughest seasons playing basketball ever. Just with, like you said, the trade. You have relationships with those people you talk to every single day. You know that's going to be different. And obviously, with the other thing that happened with me with my health and everything like that, that was tough as well. Finding out that goes beyond basketball. That's kind of just like you become more appreciative for everything.
You lived 1,000 lives this season, it feels like. Pandemic, rumors, then you get traded. Then the trade happens, you get a medical thing, and reveal that there's a mass in the kidney and you have to do surgery. Through all of that, you still managed this season to average career highs in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. How did you still be productive through that amount of ambiguity and adversity? Who was the support system? Like, how did they help you out? What are things that people did to get you through this time?
Well, it was tough. I was in the hospital for like a week. My mom, my little brother, just making sure I was straight, talking to me. Being there, I think, is just the most important thing you can do, without saying any words, just being there for somebody. So I can't thank them enough for that.
Did you take any of that time? I think it was about 2 months that you were away from the game. Did you explore anything outside of basketball during that time?
Be honest with you, I didn't. That was it was a really rough time for me. I kind of watched a lot of basketball, but I was really just kind of to myself. I was a little low, but I got through that time, and it definitely made me, the person I am today, and got me through it.
There you have it. Just a really special moment. Caris LeVert, one of the league's favorite, your favorite player's favorite player type deal. Everyone loves the guy. Really kind soul, and happy to see him back healthy. And moving along here to another top shot collector from the NBA. This was an iconic moment. Harrison Barnes hitting the game winner. And obviously the Sacramento Kings as a team, big top shot collectors throughout that roster. So studio, I think we have a clip here. We play the clip. What happened immediately after that game winner? Something about that, Austin, when you started this job, I don't think you foresaw just a couple months later, NBA players yelling at their teammates, put that on Top Shot. What did that mean to you as just kind of a lover of the NBA and someone that, is redefining what it means to be a fan of the sport in real time?
Yeah, obviously something like this could have been like a stretch, pipe dream, long-term goal, and to have it accelerate as it has been just amazing. I think we're so lucky in our positions and fortunate to be able to be a part of this, this new element of the NBA fan landscape and have it, so like widely adopted by the players. It's just, so important. So I just feel truly appreciative of it. And it's just so poetic and great that one of the season's truly memorable moments is from Harrison Barnes, who is just a very serious, committed Top Shot collector. It's just fun to see. Love the thumbnail on this one too. I'm all about the team celebrations.
Absolutely. All right, moving ahead here, we're gonna pick up the pace a little bit till we get to the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell, can't tell the story of the season without a Donovan Mitchell moment as one of the all-stars of the Utah Jazz, the team that finished the regular season with the best record. Pretty epic swat, and I know we were just giving Tyrese Halliburton his flowers, but still a rook, still could get blocked sometimes, and Mitchell certainly brings that LeBron James chase down block energy to the game. Moving along here, we've got a moment from throwdowns. If not the Anthony Edwards, this is the other contender for Dunk of the Year, Poster of the Year, Top Shot this of the year. Miles Bridges bringing the hammer. I remember watching this live. Austin, this was a Sunday afternoon. Clint Capela, he's not a lightweight. You dunk on Clint Capela, you're dunking on pretty much anyone. Miles Bridges, certainly one of the best dunkers. And that's what the throwdown set's all about, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I love that dunk. We had so many conversations internally about where this, dunk like sort of lands on the list of the top 10. Clint Capela, like a bit more of a known rim protector than Yuta Watanabe, just going out there and doing his job. So I mean, Miles Bridges had so many different incredible dunks, but truly, this is the most memorable one.
Moving along here, this one, another cool cat, Steph Curry, making. This wasn't just 2021 history. This was NBA history, taking over as the franchise's all-time leading scorer. Austin, this was on your radar for a little while. You knew this was coming. And I love that we got it into the Cool Cat set, because where did Steph Curry go to college? The Davidson Wildcats. We got him into Cool Cats. Nicely done there, man.
Yeah, I love this play. Anytime you can bump a guy named Wilt Chamberlain off the record book, it's a good day. Steph Curry, I mean, we talked about Steph earlier, but what he's done over the course of his career is just truly amazing. Just some insider info. We knew we wanted like a cool cat moment like this with an edition size between 15 and 20,000, and it was right around that time that Steph set this mark of 17,000. What is it? 724, I believe. It's the bucket, the layup over JaVale McGee. Love to get that in there. Love to be able to get the pick that we did with the banners in the background. Just wanted to give Steph some flowers there on that one.
Yeah, I don't think we realized. I don't think I realized that he finished that on his former teammate on a championship team, JaVale McGee, two-time champion with the Warriors. So pretty cool. Moving along here, this may have been one of the moments of the year. April 14th. Remember watching this live and just being shocked. Luka Doncic. Walk me through what you see here.
I would have to say probably the play that I was bombarded the most with requests for very obvious reasons. It's just such a memorable play. The fact that above all else, Luka just finds a way to get it done. The way he approaches the game, the angles that he approaches the game, just to put the ball in the hoop, it's that simple. It's fun to see it. And it's fun to see him do it with such a big smile on his face, which is just, another part of his game that I sort of associate him with. The big grin at the end, he's a baller. He's a baller, and we're in for a great couple, a long career with Luka doing great things just like this.
Absolutely. Speaking of long careers, doing great things, We got Zion Williamson, and I'll be the first to admit I was a little biased when we're making this pick. This was his first game at the Garden since Duke, right? Didn't play at the Garden in his rookie season. Throwing it down, Zion electrifying the New York City crowd. And studio, let's play the clip. He had an interview after the game that certainly took me and my friends and fellow Knicks fans by notice.
I know it's a different, experience now, but what was it like to finally get to play in the Garden in the pros?
I'm glad you asked that, actually. I mean, New York is the mecca of basketball. I love playing. I love playing here. When I played here in college, and this is my first time playing here in the pros, and I mean, this atmosphere, whether they're cheering for you, whether they're booing for you, it's amazing. Honestly, I think outside of New Orleans, obviously, I think this might be my favorite place to play outside of New Orleans. I can't even lie to you. I can't lie to you.
Man, the smile. It just, in times where I'm stressed, where the community's coming after us, something doesn't go, I just think about that clip and I think about Zion's smile, thinking about playing in MSG. And I love the thumbnail because this is the MSG, the rafters at MSG, Zion electrifying the crowd. Just a chef's kiss moment, one of my favorites from the year. And Zion certainly, as point forward Zion taking a leap as a sophomore.
Yeah, truly an iconic stadium. I had to get the roof. In the thumbnail there. I love to play. Like, we're so lucky. You just look at the big grin on Zion's face during the interview. Like, these guys are so passionate. The league is in such great hands with these stars. But how about that hezzy, that crossover? Oh my gosh! Like, what Zion does continues to just blow my mind. Happy to get that one in there for you in the Garden, though.
We've got a 50 burger coming up next. Nope, not the Rudy. Give us 1 second here. We've got a 50 burger that I think not many people were expecting to happen. Kevin Porter Jr. Before we see the play, Austin, if you were to tell me at the beginning of the season that Kevin Porter would not play another game in the NBA, or Kevin Porter would score 50 points in a game a few months later, I don't know which one I would pick. But Kevin Porter, putting the league on notice, certainly putting the Top Shot community on notice with one of the just, every 4 or 5 years, it seems, from Tony Delk to Corey Brewer, there's a guy that comes along that puts up 50 and you do a double take. Wow, that guy scored 50. Now, Kevin Porter is young and he's got all the potential in the world. What do you think? Where do you think he and Jalen Green kind of slot in with each other next year?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, since day one, there was so much hope for what, in an absolute perfect hypothetical world, Kevin Porter Jr. could be capable of on offense. But I think people kind of assumed that he wouldn't get to that point. I still remember cursing the Pistons. They sold the pick to the Cavs for cash considerations. I think it was the 30th pick in that draft. They sold it to the Cavs. Anyway, still bothers me to this day. Where does he fit long term? I don't know that I see him as the primary scorer in Houston. I think maybe that'll be Jalen Green. But I mean, you can't. It's no fluke to be able to drop 50 points in the NBA. So maybe we're just gonna to see him kind of make that conversation a bit more of a debate than many of us kind of expect it to be. Also, shout out to Tony Delk, Phoenix Suns great Tony Delk.
Boston Celtic great. Actually, true story, chat. You're not going to believe that. Tony Delk was my favorite player for a good 3 years. Before I realized I couldn't root for a Celtic, he was my favorite player. Moving along here, we've got, not to one-up Kevin Porter's 50, but we got Jason Tatum tying a franchise record for the franchise in the NBA, the Boston Celtics, with a 60-point performance. You mentioned it earlier. You love Jason Tatum. Is it fair to say that on Team USA, he is one of, him, KD, and Lillard are kind of the mantle bearers of kind of superstardom in the NBA? Yeah,
I think that's safe to say. We've been looking at Tatum since his rookie season and thinking, is this guy going to be one of the top 3 players in the NBA? Like, he's just had that air about him. And he's, as we said before, every year he kind of gets a little bit closer and closer to that. To drop 60 in that Celtics uniform, get the nice game ball pick playing up at the roof is awesome. Big Tatum fan.
Moving along here, we have a moment handpicked by your content lead, Austin Kent himself. Jordan Clarkson, 6th man of the year. Walk me through it.
I mean, just such a truly amazing scorer. Goes out there, puts the ball in the net, and makes it look great. Former league fits champ from my former employee at Slam. Everything Jordan Clarkson does is so cool, and to see him string together a combo like that, and get the nice little one-hander on poor Utah Watanabe, blows past him. It was great, and I knew we needed to get that into the product in some fashion. I was happy to be able to get that as metallic gold. I'm a big fan of what Clarkson's capable of. He's just been a baller since day one.
Yeah, and shout out to the Top Shot Filipino community. Jordan Clarkson, half Filipino, obviously. NBA in the Philippines is a big deal with a capital deal. So there you go. Moving along here, we've got a hollow icon from a rookie, Cole Anthony, Mr. Game Winner, 2 game winners as a rookie. And this one, needless to say, the moment itself special, cutting loose on some really good defense from Kyle Anderson and Dylan Brooks. Cole Anthony going into ISO mode. And after the game, Austin, this is kind of his breakout onto the scene. The guy is
Anthony, you did it again. What is it about you at the end of a basketball game, my friend?
I do this, man. I do this. I was bred for this. I ain't the type to go.
We got wet headsets. We got happy teammates. Hey, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna make game winners, they're gonna do that to you. That's what happens.
I'm scared to walk. I do this. I live for these end of the moments in games. It's crunch time. What I said two games ago. That's my time. I want to get that showing for my team. So just had to go get it done. And just big shout out to everybody in the Magic, man. We came and we fought today. We're down 15 coming into halftime, man. Dudes did not give up. I love this team, man. Love this city. Let's go.
Amen. At the end of the Minnesota game, you said, let the ball come to me because I know I'm going to make it. Was that the same feeling tonight, Cole?
Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
Well, then take us into the huddle. What happened? What was the play? And was that exactly what was drawn up?
Well, man, yeah, we had a few plays up. I mean, we had play drawn up before that if the ball had come to us when they was reviewing that joint. And I was honestly in my head like, I really just wanted ISO. Not even going to lie to you. I wanted ISO. I just knew if I got someone on the island, it wasn't going to be safe. That's for real what I knew was happening. But that was the play we drew up, came off that. Seen I had Kyle Anderson on me. I was like, yeah, it's game time. Trying to get this money.
I want to know about a couple of your teammates. Moe Wagner. Take us through Moe and the game that he had for you here tonight, Cole.
Hey, I ain't going to lie. When Moe first got here, I was like, yo, who is this? Now I'm telling everybody, yo, I love this dude. Happy he's here, man. That was a great pickup. Shout out to Jeff, John. Yeah, that was a...
Not short on confidence. Cole Anthony. I love the interview. I love everything about that moment. And, at the end there, obviously talking about Moe Wagner and Franz Wagner joining Orlando as well in the draft. Very excited for Orlando. I think people are sleeping on Orlando. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be a championship contender next year, but Markelle Fultz out the whole year, Jonathan Isaac out the whole year. They've got some really good talent coming in. They've got a wealth of really, really high-level prospects. I'm excited to see where they go. Moving along here, now this is an iconic moment for NBA history too. We've got a moment from the game that Russell Westbrook ties Oscar Robertson for all-time career triple-doubles. Austin, I'm only going to speak for me here. I remember growing up, Oscar Robertson averaging a triple-double. That was a myth. I couldn't believe it. Russell Westbrook redefining kind of what Mr. Triple-Double is and walk me through kind of Russell Westbrook and this moment and just what it means to, have that title as the guy with the most triple-doubles in NBA history.
Yeah. You bring up a great point. I remember, if a player got 6 triple doubles in a season, they might be one of the leaders for the season. Whether that's Grant Hill or Jason Kidd dropping maybe 10 triple doubles would be truly amazing. So to be able to, at that point, look back on history and see what Oscar Robertson did over the course of the season just didn't make any sense. It was as unfathomable as like Wilt averaging like 50 points a game. But I mean, this generation of stars, they've just completely changed the game. They what they can do in like 36 minutes of action is just amazing. And Russell Westbrook, of course, fills the stat sheet like none of. At this moment, stood out to me and stood out to us immediately. We knew we wanted to give Russ his flowers for the achievement. And in typical Russ fashion, he just did so many good things. Like he obviously tied it and then broke it the next game. And in the game where he tied it, he got a game-saving block that we'd honestly believe would have been a moment in its own right. So we had a lot of options for how we would sort of celebrate this triple-double feat. He broke the record. It was on a rebound. So there wasn't a truly, great isolated moment that we could have sort of anchored to for beating the record. I'm sorry, I'm going way inside baseball here. And he tied the record. It was an assist to Bradley Beal, but it was mostly generic assist. So the fact that we were able to get Russ not only saving the game for his team with a block, but to immediately be able to grab the game ball and to celebrate with his teammates, we were just so excited to be able to capture that moment of celebration that we might have had to skip over because, Russ was getting back on D after he actually tied the record. Of course, leave it to Russell Westbrook in a game where we're celebrating him filling three different, stat columns. He does something truly amazing in another stat column, but that's just Westbrook for you.
Moving along here, we've got 2 more moments before we close out the regular season, and no better 2 players to close it out with. First, we got the Kevin Durant, which is what I call the game breaker of the year. What a moment. Talk to me about it, man.
Yeah, another one of those moments that just immediately broke Twitter. Discord was going crazy. All of our mentions were blowing up on Twitter. Game breaker, shout out NBA Street. Such a fun way to put that because it's such a team effort. I love what Blake Griffin does on that. We did think about potentially, is that a Mike James assist? I think what KD does is probably the easiest aspect of the play. But, when you've got this incredible Nets team doing something great and it's their leader, Kevin Durant, finishing it off, can't go wrong with that. So we're very excited to be able to get that in the metallic gold set.
Awesome. And,
got Mike James in the thumbnail. We got you.
Yeah, could have been a Mike James assist. Honestly, could have been a Blake Griffin hockey assist if we had that as a category. Moving along here, we've got what I think, the Lakers, had they won the championship, this moment in history would go down even higher. It's LeBron James hitting a game winner in the play-in game over Steph Curry. I mean, you can't script it any better if you're like Adam Silver writing up what the play-in game looks like. And LeBron, of course, I can't seeing 3 rims. Talk to me about the play-in game. They're doing it again next season.
Man, I didn't want to love it, but I loved it. It added such a fun wrinkle to the end of the season instead of just, who's going to get the 8th seed or whatever? What's the placement going to be? It gave us this whole new thing to sort of geek out about. Wild that 2, iconic franchises met in the play-in tournament. I don't know that we can expect that every year, but we had just such a great game and such a fun, memorable moment of LeBron's career. Do you buy it? Was he seeing 3 rims or was that a little embellished?
He's not one to embellish. I don't know. Yeah, that's my dry humor right there, chat, as you can see. All right, moving along here. We're in the playoffs. We made it. And this moment, I think, gets a little slept on. It was the first game went to overtime, and Chris Middleton doing some foreshadowing Milwaukee, you can count on me. I'm going to hit big shots throughout this whole playoffs. They had lost in disappointing fashion to the Heat the season before. So I think it's fair to say, even though history will show they swept the Heat, they lose this game. I think their postseason could look pretty different. Talk to me a little bit about this moment.
I love the way it's sort of foreshadowing for Middleton's. I wouldn't say he had he was just so great when the Bucks needed him to be great. I'll just say that, and to be able to kick it off in Game 1 was great. It's interesting that you mentioned that. Yeah, had this gone the other way, like how would that impacted Miami's energy coming into the rest of the season, or Milwaukee's psyche, for the rest of that series? Maybe we could have seen something different. Obviously, it's a great, Heat team that could have seriously done more damage to them had they pulled out that, Game 1 upset. But Middleton closed the door on him, and then they did a lot more. He did a lot more of that to other teams along the way. So it was fun to see that. I just love that that's the thing with Middleton. I feel like almost all of Middleton's plays are just clutch, like 18-footers. But every time they're so impressive. It's the Middleton effect.
Absolutely. We haven't seen the last of it. Moving along here, John Morant in his first playoff series, putting up 47 points and doing it in style. This is the playoffs, Austin. Reverse alley-oops in the playoffs over Rudy Gobert. What do you see from John Morant?
I know. I feel like I've said it a zillion times, but I just feel like the league is in such great hands. What John Morant is capable of as, just one of many of these, young stars. Ja, I've said this in streams in the past, is one of those players we could get a moment from Ja every game. If we wanted 82 base set moments from Ja, we could get them easy. So the fact that he pulled this one out in the playoffs, it's truly crazy when you think about the fact that an NBA player did that in the postseason. But when you say, oh, it's John Morant, all of a sudden it doesn't feel like such a big leap.
Yeah, 47 points. They'll be back. Memphis will be back. Zaire Williams in the draft. They're in good shape. Moving along here. So that we're rounding out May and we're officially in June, and this was June 1st. This was a night that NBA Twitter took notice because Damian Lillard put the team on his back. 12 made three-pointers. Austin, walk me through. You're watching this game. It seems like he just can't miss.
So surreal when everybody on the planet knows to expect game time and to yet still see it play out as it did in that fashion in regulation and in overtime. It's just like one of those pinch me moments. I don't know how to feel about the fact that the Blazers didn't move on from the series, because had they done so, like, where would this? And it wasn't just this play. He just did it over and over again in the fourth quarter and overtime. Where would that performance have stacked up historically? Had they won the game, had they maybe won the series? But Damian Lillard, even when everyone knows it's going right to him, still can't stop him.
Yeah, Monty Morris just trying his best, but it's tough. All right, moving along here, we've got Devin Booker, 47 points in the game that took out the Lakers. There were a lot of good moments from Booker in this series. Why did we go with this one?
This was sort of the punctuation mark over the course of this series. Lakers a bit banged up. People were like, can the Suns compete with this Lakers team? And then you're like, okay, the Suns are competing with this Lakers team. Can they close them out? And the Suns just looked so good and better over the course of the playoffs. And the fact that Booker was able to cap off a 47-point showing, one of the game's great modern-day scorers, just capped it off with a nice two-hander at the end of a 47-point game, sent the Lakers packing. Truly a memorable part of the postseason for me, and a fun way to sort of commemorate Booker's contributions to that. Don't know how many brackets got busted that day. Mine was, though. I'll pat myself on the back for that Bucks pick, but I had the Lakers playing against them in the finals, so can't get too happy with myself.
Mine as well, man. And moving along here, we've got the MVP in the playoffs, the vision, the creativity, alley-oop to himself. I don't think when you talk about MVPs alley-ooping to themselves, you think of non-dunk self-alley-oops, but that's Nicola Yokic for you. Just seeing the floor, being creative, improv.
I love it. Truly does it his own way. Put the ball in the net. Find a way to get your teammates to put the ball in the net. It's easy when you think of it the way Jokic does. What a performer.
The very same night in the very same game, we got a Tory Craig moment. Now, this moment is iconic because this is just the second narrated moment in NBA Top Shot history. Go to the marketplace to check out the narration there. Very, very exciting for the community. In fact, actually, you know what? Studio, should we roll the clip? I think we've got the narration. If we want to play it.
So the alley-oop from Campaign in the Devin series is definitely up there for one of my top plays of my career. I just think because of the magnitude of the game and the playoffs, the run we were going on, and it kind of fueled it even more. And just the energy it brought to the arena. I remember us getting a steal, and Campaign took one or two dribbles and just threw it. And I was kind of surprised because of the angle. It was kind of a weird angle, but he threw it anyway. And I just elevated it and finished it. And the crowd, man, they were so loud and there was so much energy in that moment. And I think that's definitely why it's one of my top plays of my career.
Tory Craig, of course, getting a ring because he started the year with Milwaukee. So even if the Suns fell short, he did not. Moving along here, just a week later in the NBA calendar, Kawhi Leonard I don't know how he did. He evidently had a torn ACL, but meeting Derek Favors at the Summit and throwing it down hard. This season I think Kawhi paced himself a bit, and then in the playoffs the knee started to wear on him. But dunks like this remind you Kawhi's still a young guy, right? Like 30, 31 years old, can still throw it down with the best of them. And just an utter baptism right here.
Yeah, I love this. One of the most memorable posters of the season, for sure.
Absolutely. Moving along here, talk about memorable posters of the season. I don't know if there's a more memorable one than this one. John Collins at the Summit over Joel Embiid. Put it on a T-shirt. Put it on a Top Shot. Unreal.
Yep. Just absolute legendary, play. I love that. I was so happy we were able to get such a vicious poster into the product. John Collins, that's what he does. I'm happy to see him, sign on for 5 more years of this connection, this traded John Collins connection. What a fun play.
Moving along, we have got this one could have been the play of Kevin Durant's career. Just a few inches of his foot size, maybe 2 sizes smaller. This goes down as the greatest shot in NBA history, arguably. Walk me through it.
Yeah, I think we all thought it was good. I mean, I certainly thought it was good when we saw it. The big shoes, they'll get you. Kevin Durant, another one of those players. Everybody, in the stadium, everybody watching knows exactly where the ball is going, guarded by PJ Tucker there, and just pulls off an incredible shot. That's KD for you. I love this play, and yeah, the history changes if that's ruled a 3.
Absolutely. We'll call it the biggest shot that wasn't of Kevin Durant's career. Moving along here. Literally just 3 days later, this is how crazy the playoffs is. Kevin Durant does that. 3 days later, the Valley-oop, another contender for the play of the year.
Yeah. Shout out Jay Crowder for one of the most impressive passes to not be a Top Shot assist. But for DeAndre Ayton to be able to get loose and to put the finishing touches on that play is just incredible. That was such a fun play for such a fun team.
Yeah, I look at the thumbnail here. We'll get that thumbnail. It reminds me a little bit of Patrick Ewing in the Garden with his hands up. this is DeAndre Ayton's moment like that. Definitely a contender for moment of the year. But wait, it gets even crazier because just a day later, John Collins back at it with Trae Young again in game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. This is not a preseason game. This is not summer. This is them on the world's brightest stage, off the backboard alley-oop in game 1. Talk to me.
They were feeling it that game. And, I'm a simple man. Trae Young throws the ball off the backboard to John Collins, and, I like it. It works for me. But I thought the fact that this came in game 1, Eastern Conference Finals, obviously it just took it to a whole new level. I think Trae's got the wider angle, the dunk's very contested. I love to see this one.
Now I don't think you can tell the story of the playoffs without talking about Paul George, because he rewrote his narrative. And in this game, breaking Chris Paul's ankles, drilling the 3. You can say, Reggie Jackson, Nick Batum, plenty of support, but Paul George elevated to superstardom again for this postseason run, taking them to just a couple of games away from the finals. And Chris Paul is not a guy that's easy to embarrass on the other end. And Paul George here, stopping on a dime. What did you see from Paul George? And do you think that when Kawhi is healthy, presuming that Kawhi returns to the Clippers, they have a legitimate shot at championship still?
I think Paul George, his whole playoff run, like you said, just did such a good job of sort of reversing the narrative. I think that was kind of unfairly pinned toward him after some not so hot performances. I'm a Pistons fan, but also a great affinity for the Raptors, the hometown team. I live in fear of what Paul George, then Indiana Pacers Paul George, is capable of. He's so good. And to see the whole narrative shift away from that was sort of weird to see. It just figured it was a matter of time before Paul George started reminding people of what he's capable of. And in Kawhi's absence, I think he did that. Shout out, credit to all the Clippers, like the supporting cast that really stepped up. But Paul George just dragged that team a long way, and it's fun to see that. And he had a couple of. I love the move on Chris Paul here. He had a great one on Porzingis in the first round. Paul George was on it this postseason.
Absolutely. Moving along here, we've got 3 more moments. I think, chat, you can predict which team all 3 of these moments are going to come from. Stay tuned. After we get to these moments, we're also going to be doing giveaways. But this was, if for all the other moments we said was the moment of the year, this one could easily be the moment of the year as well. Giannis Antetokounmpo in his first NBA Finals with a block that, might be now known as the block. There are a bunch of big blocks in the last decade. LeBron's chase down of Iguodala, but this one stands out as the block of the 2020s at the very least, and might go down as the defining moment of Giannis's career, knowing how much this kind of changed momentum of the series.
Definitely. I love seeing what he's capable of. This is such a great example of it. He's able to sort of flash and help Booker while also recovering in time to stop this. I love the super slow-mo cam for these finals moments, and what a great play to be able to show that off with. It's just fun. We were trying to track Giannis. We just wanted to see every movement of Giannis as he sort of registers that the ball's above him and he tracks it down and then moves over to it. I love that. I love this play.
Moving along here, we've got 2 more moments, and this one, we just talked about the Giannis as a player of the year. This one easily could have been the player of the year as well. Drew Holiday with the strip to Giannis for the oop, the strip and oop. We need a better name than that, but this is just Drew Holiday in a nutshell. The defensive bulldog that he is, the offensive audacity that he has, tossing it up. Obviously, we were there in the Top Shot suite. We're going to play that clip right after this, but the alley-oop to Giannis, and the big and one to seal the victory and take a deciding 3-2 lead over the Suns in a game that really was a toss-up the whole way. Let's play the clip. We took 8 collectors and their guests to Phoenix to watch this game, watch this moment unfold in real time. Studio, can we play the clip? What are your thoughts about the fact that you are officially going to Game 5 of the NBA Finals in the Top Shot sweep?
What? Are you kidding me? Wow.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Holy man, are you serious?
Michael,
Oh
you did it, man. Congratulations.
Dude, I can't. Oh, that's insane. Seriously, holy cow.
What's up, Top Shot Nation? We're here at Game 5 of the NBA Finals for an all-access weekend with the Suns. We brought 8 collectors and their guests for an unforgettable weekend.
I'm kind of geeked about the experience that we have in hand for you guys, and I hope you get to enjoy it. There's been a lot that's happened in here while it was a practice facility. This is like a super premium area, and all of a sudden we're drawing TVs on the floor. Part of the reason we wanted to come down here, part of the reason we use this video screen is D-Book winning that 3-point shootout. He's actually been kind enough to loan us his trophy.
I definitely owe a shout out to my cousin. I skipped my cousin's wedding to be here.
But I did want to stop here because this is typically where the team would kind of gather, dap each other up, have some pregame sentiments to each other. And by the way, we're going to go out there and hit the floor. The Phoenix Suns court within almost 24 hours before our doors will open for Game 5 of the NBA Finals. We've had a couple photo opportunities. We've had Gorilla, we've had Devin's 3-point trophy. We are the proud owners of the Western Conference Finals trophy. And we have set up a little bit of a Instagram moment for you there as well.
We're starting off Saturday, right? We're here at the Phoenix Suns official team shop, Game 5 in just a few hours. Our collectors need some gear for the game.
Let's go,
Couple hats, fresh hoodie. We're rolling.
For those who haven't been to a playoff game here, it gets ridiculous. It's going to be very loud. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's just real cool to talk about it in person for the first time.
We have a couple other special guests that are coming here to talk to you guys.
You guys doing all right?
What a fun team. You got to be proud, right?
See you guys.
Oh, that was awesome. Awesome.
Being able to, spend a whole weekend together and engage and talk about the platform and basketball has been awesome. Definitely part of the reason I signed up in the first place.
This trip is going to have me be a collector forever, and this has just shown me how great this platform and community can really be.
I want that Booker. All right. All right, here we go. Let's go. Booker, let's go. Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns. Rare 5-3-2. Booker! Let's go! 532. Devin Booker. Let's go.
Again, it makes me really excited for the future, and this weekend has been amazing. This experience is once in a lifetime, and something that I'll go to my grave remembering.
Grateful to have you all in the community. Looking forward to next time. This is just the first of many. We're going to keep doing these. Keep in touch with all of you and seeing you around Top Shot. Thank you. Thank you.
What a special experience getting to share it with the Top Shot community. Of course, going out to Vegas for Summer League in just a few days here, doing it all over again, taking Top Shot collectors to Vegas to experience what I call the Six Flags of the NBA season. Just pandemonium. I'll tell my Summer League stories at a later date, but have been at cards tables with some NBA guys. Before I was involved with Top Shot, I just kind of turned my head and, oh, that guy's on the Knicks. Oh, that guy played for the Lakers in summer. Just crazy time. Hope to see some of y'all in Vegas to enjoy the festivities. But moving along here, we've got the last moment of the 50, and no better way to bookend the season than with the dagger in Game 6. Chris Middleton hitting it under duress, and Devin Booker just didn't stand a chance. This is what Chris Middleton does. Cash baby. Talk to me, Austin. Tell me about this moment and kind of how you felt when you saw it go down and you knew that your prediction came true.
I love it. I love seeing, and we saw it time and time again, clearly, the confidence that Giannis has in Chris Middleton to be the closer in those situations. And Middleton's just built for it. And to have him do it what felt like every series, and then, of course, come through, when it mattered most in the finals was just truly special. It's such a fun team. What a wild ride. I'm just so happy for Bucks fans, for that team, small market teams everywhere.
Chat, there you have it. Those are the 50 defining moments of the 2020-21 season. If you stuck through, if you've stuck around, we are doing a giveaway. Chat, we're gonna break out Nightbot for this, so you need to be on Twitch. Or no, maybe we're doing a form. Sorry, get into Nightbot eventually. I forgot. Just broke down 50 moments from the season. So check out the link on the screen. Hoops/stream giveaway. Put your username. Only put it once. Don't put it multiple times. We only want it once. And if you put it multiple times, we're going to have to disqualify you. So really put it once. And we're going to open up a hollow icon pack. The link is in the description. Austin, we're going to open this pack and we're just going to do the same little breakdown of the moments involved, the serials involved, and we'll have our winners. And we'll get out of here in the next 10, 15 or so. But let me get to the pack. We're doing hollow icon. Very excited. Always a thrill to open one of these and know that our collectors are leaving happy. And for a lot of you, good chance at landing a moment here. We've got 3 rares, 1 legendary, 6 base set. Doesn't get any better than that. So let's I'm going to share my screen. And let's do it. All right, got my screen pulled up, studio. When you have a chance, let's get that showing. All right, y'all. Haven't opened one of these in a little bit. Chat, we're going to give it another minute. Please fill out your username in the stream giveaway form if you want a chance at getting one of these packs. We are going to deduplicate the list before we get started, so there will be a hard cutoff, unfortunately. We're going to open up the moment. We're going to figure out who it goes to. All right. Bunch of moments. Austin, we got the legendary in the top left. I think we got to save that one for last, but otherwise, steer me. Which, including the rares, where are we starting this?
I mean, I always started with the comments first. Give me a what's the one on the right in the second row?
It's a common.
Yeah, start me there.
We're starting here. Studio. Gonna hold off for a second. We've got over 300 submissions, so decent chance for one of y'all.
Do you recall what drop this is?
This is Hollow Icon Drop 1.
Okay.
So we're going to deduplicate in the next minute here, and then we're going to open up these packs. Yeah, we got the link on the screen. Do not submit your username more than once unless you want to be DQ'd. I don't know who would want to be DQ'd, but there's someone out there. Every time we do this, some people cheat. Don't cheat. Just be a good citizen. Let karma steer your ship. Let karma steer your ship. You don't need to try to rig this. It's not going to work. All right. Just waiting on the green light from the studio, and then we are going to open up these moments. Very excited for y'all.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
I'm going to do my arbitrary bold prediction. Cam Reddish. I'm going to say we get a Cam Reddish in this pack. Chances are not high, but that's my guess. How about you?
Okay. What are we gonna get early? We're gonna go. Where are we gonna get one of those? 4-badge Lamelos, 3-star rookie.
That would be cool. That'd be cool.
That'd be all right.
No problem with that.
Yeah. Speak it into existence. It's the ball away.
As we're waiting for the list to be deduped, chat, ask some questions. Want to hear from you.
Right. I like that Cole Anthony call.
We got thoughts on Lowry to the Heat. What do you think about that, Austin? Obviously, you're based in greater Toronto area.
Yeah. It immediately will make so many Canadian fans just instantly root for the Heat. Like, we just want to see Lowry be in a good spot. He was so great to the city, great to the franchise. Obviously, you get a lot of snowbirds from Canada in Florida, so there's some synergy there. There'll be a lot of Raps fans cheering for Lowry. Just kind of hoping, even at the deadline that passed, I was ready. I'm like, is it Philly? Am I going to be on the Philly bandwagon rooting for Lowry and the Sixers? Didn't happen, obviously. So now I'll be an honorary Miami Heat bandwagoner. That'll be a fun team. What do you think of their moves? You think that they got PJ Tucker there, Kyle Lowry?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, keeping Duncan was big, giving Jimmy his money. I think they're not done. I think they've got a few more roster spots to fill out, and I'm sure there are plenty of veteran minimum veterans that want to get some sun in Miami. All right, we're going to start. Door number 6 here. This is the first moment we're pulling, and we got a buck, and it's a Thanasis. It's got, chat, 2 badges, championship badge and chat debut. Thanasis, once a Knick, always a Knick, drafted by the Knicks, throwing it down on your Pistons, and Isaiah Stewart here.
Love to see, Thanasis, even just playing a role with the Bucks in the playoffs. He always in Giannis's ear. Seemed like he was always, calming him down or pumping him up, So to be able to cut that debut, I'll take that. Championship badge looks nice.
Chat, if you want this Thanasis, let me hear it in the chat. We're gonna get the winner. This one is going to Octopus Gang. Octopus Gang, congratulations on your Thanasis. Austin, steer my ship. Where are we going?
Okay, bottom right there.
Bottom right.
Yeah.
Got a jump shot, and it's the Robin Lopez Circus shot, one of my favorites from Series 2. Sadly, not all of them can make it in. But the little reverse hook, shades of Trevor Booker with the Jazz a little bit, not quite. That's a good moment, man.
Yeah, that Lopez hook, man. You gotta love that. That's one of the funnest, I think, moments that made it into the base set in Series 2.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I think the community doesn't fully appreciate is early in the season, we got to get moments so that we could put together packs. So when Robin Lopez Circus shot like this happened on December 27, goes a long way. This moment goes to OM Hayes. OM Hayes, congratulations on your Rolo. All right, where are we going next, Austin?
Bottom center.
Bottom center. Got a common. Just traded Mason Plumlee. Newly made Charlotte Hornet.
Yes.
This is Jeremy Grant. Could easily be a Jeremy Grant dime, but Mason Plumlee with the throwdown.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton wanted nothing to do with it.
Love the Plumlee dunk. And then Plumlee immediately followed up his debut with a couple of ridiculous other moves. We had a lot of fun talking about Plumlee. I like Plumlee. I think he'll be good in Charlotte. He'll be a good big on a team that's ready to make it into the playoffs after making the playing game. I could talk about Plumlee for an irrationally long time, so I'll cut myself off.
There's something poetic about one of the Plumlees replacing one of the Zellers in Charlotte's front court. It's just wouldn't have it any other way. This moment is going to Zeps. Zeps 21, congratulations on your Plumlee. All right. We going bottom? We moving around?
Yeah, bottom.
Bottom.
I want those comments out of the picture first. Okay.
Clint Capela. For a second, I thought it was going to be a Cam Reddish, and the chat was going to go crazy saying that it was rigged. We got a Clint Capela. It's the problem. You can't have fun making these like baseless predictions without everyone just thinking here. Okay. Clint Capela. This was his first bucket as an Atlanta Hawk. Very easily could make the case that he's a top 4, top 5 center in the NBA. This one comes early in the year. This moment goes to Dirty Jamie. Dirty Jamie, congratulations on your Clint.
Love it. One of the best players to get their Top Shot debut in the base set in Series 2 that didn't make it into the first series.
That's right.
Fun to see that.
Yeah, was injured for much of the previous season, so much so that people thought that the Hawks lost the trade that brought him in for nothing more than a first rounder. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, was that the 4-teamer? That was wild.
Yeah, the Robert Covington. All right, we got a few more commons. We got
middle, second row. It's going to be the Rook. I want the Rook.
Dunk. Another Clint Capela.
What? Nice. Okay, I'll take it. Loving that. Yeah, he had some great games. He's a fun ad for them.
Yeah, I think so. Chat, we're seeing some PG-13 rated R usernames that submitted. Kind request to you all, please make your username polite, PG, G, however you want to rate it. But if you're using inappropriate usernames, it's going to be hard for us to call you out on a stream as a winner, right? This moment goes to Gabret. Gabret gets the second Clint Capela, the 4,986. Congratulations, Gabret. All right, moving along here. We got one more common, and then we got our rares.
Okay.
Go into the common. We got an assist from one of my favorites, probably my favorite player in the entire NBA, Draymond Green. Full length of the floor, James Wiseman. The easy 31-point blowout on January 4th. This is kind of what I think Bob Myers and Joe Lacob were envisioning when they drafted James Wiseman. And this was certainly Draymond has never played with a guy quite as athletic and big as Wiseman. Obviously, Kevin Durant isn't as girthy necessarily. This moment goes to Constantine 167. Constantine, congratulations on your Draymond. All right, Austin, we got 4 more moments. We're saving this one for last.
Yep.
Where are we starting with the rares?
Start me bottom left. Yeah, I'm a sucker for full court times. Who we got?
Got a layup, 366, DeJounte Murray. Split in the double. Zion and Lonzo couldn't hold him down. DeJounte.
Such an underrated player. I love to see his growth so far with San Antonio after coming back from that injury a couple years ago. I have high hopes for him. He's such a fun player to watch develop in that Popovich system.
This moment goes to Riomi Kwa. Riomi Kwa, congratulations on your DeJounte Murray. As you mentioned, so much potential from him. The youngest player to ever make an all-defense team. He made the all-defense second team. I believe it was 2018, maybe 2019. Certainly a stud. All right, where are we going? Top right,
let's
bottom
go
left.
the second row.
Second row.
That's the one. Let's see it.
Orlando Magic. Dunk. Ooh, 61 serial. Aaron Gordon.
All right.
High flyer, top shot investor. This is when Aaron Gordon was rocking the afro.
Yeah.
Nice alley-oop from Markelle Fultz and Gordon. What it would be to just catch and dunk in one fell swoop. Aaron Judge lookalike. This moment goes to Ronnie Dickey 1007. Ronnie Dickey 1007. two zeros in the username, and you get Aaron Gordon with 2 zeros on the uniform. So not bad.
One of those players that, can just have so many Top Shot moments. Everything he does, he does in such style.
All right, last rare before we get on to the legendaries. Denver Nuggets, rare 3-pointer, Bol.
There it is.
I remember
Bol.
this.
Such a fascinating player to watch. He's on a summer league roster. It's just one of those just tantalizing players. What's he capable of? And if there's a system that's going to bring up the most in him, it's probably Denver. Fun to see Bol.
This moment goes to Dubville Mill. Congratulations, Dubville Mill, on your Bol.
Yeah,
all right.
Legendary drop one. Okay.
All right. The past few times I've opened up a hollow icon, I think I got Tim Hardaway Jr., DeJounte Murray, and Kyle Anderson. I'm hoping we get an all-star in this.
Let's get it.
Let's see it. It's an Orlando Magic, legendary, Aaron Gordon. We got another Aaron Gordon.
There you go.
You can be quite happy with that. Every game he plays in, he has a moment that's seemingly Top Shot worthy. Beating Anthony Edwards on the baseline and flushing it home. That's a low serial, number 21. Chat, let me know. You want it? We'll see. Gonna get the username soon. Who wants it? A lot of excitement. Suspense is building. And we've got our winner, NBA_analyst. NBA analyst. I don't think that's Adrian Wojnarowski or Shams. That's, I think, someone else. But congratulations, NBA analyst, on your Aaron Gordon legendary moment. These moments will be distributed within the week. If you don't wake up and have them in your collection tomorrow, don't fret. There will be a week before we send them out. There you have it, folks. Austin, that was fun, man. Thanks for bearing with us, breaking down the 50 defining moments of the NBA season. And Studio, JP, massive shout out for helping us put together an extensive library, some honorable mentions that I saw in chat. By no means were we going through every single moment from the series and ranking them against each other. We just wanted to tell the narrative of the season month by month, and there are obviously going to be some omissions. One that's important to touch on, Carmelo Anthony, of course, becoming a top 10 scorer in NBA history. He did that this season as well. Some other great ones. Chat, let us hear which ones we missed. Which ones did we not include that we should have included? I want to hear from y'all. Thank you again for tuning in and staying with us. Very excited about all that's still to come. But just remember, closing out Series 2 tomorrow, it's a big deal. Capital B, capital D, big deal. A lot of stuff coming very, very soon. And to some of you, I hope to see you out in Vegas for Summer League. Austin, thanks for doing this, man. Any parting words and closing thoughts?
Yeah, thanks for including me. Series 2 was quite a ride. It's crazy to see it come to an end. It's been such a journey, for all of us, for the product, for the league. It's such a bizarre season in NBA history. A lot of fond memories of Series 2, and happy to be able to relive some of them with everybody here tonight. Now we get to work for the future.
Hey, we're a lot of exciting stuff. Austin and I had several conversations today about kind of what we're thinking for the summer and chat. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but keep your eyes out because you're going to be excited. I know that to be true. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll do this again sometime soon. Obviously, a momentous occasion, closing out Series 2 with a bang. Thank you all. We will be posting a blog with all of our favorite moments from the series. Go to the marketplace, check out some of these moments. There are some screaming deals. And until next time, take care. Looking forward to it. And see y'all soon. Thanks, y'all.